Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Be Joy in the Kitchen. I'm Be Joy, and this here is my kitchen. I have a really fun, simple one for us today. This recipe comes via my brother Dan. It's a Marcella Huzan recipe. So simple. He swears by this. This is a pasta, or it's just tomato sauce. Let's say that. You can put it on pasta. I'm going to put it on polenta. You can use it wherever you'd use a tomato sauce. So I'm not going to call it pasta sauce. Let's just call it tomato sauce like it is. Anyway, he swears by it. And you can dress it up. You can dress it down. I'm going to give you the original version with one caveat, and I'll tell you about that in a moment, of how to make this sauce so simple. Is it take all day? No. It takes about 20 seconds to put your ingredients in the pot, and then 45 minutes on the stove. I'm making it today because I want to use it tomorrow. I always like to do my any tomato-based tomato sauce, lasagna sauce, whatever sauce. I always like to do those a day before because somehow they cure overnight. I'm not sure what makes that happen, but I know that it does. All right, so you're going to say, Be Joy, really? How can this make such a delicious sauce? I'm going to show you. You start with 1 can of 28-ounce diced tomatoes. These happen to be organic. Put them in your pot, okay? Now, if you happen to have a couple pounds of really good tomatoes, heirlooms, what are grown in the garden, I absolutely recommend that you use those. You cut them up in a big dice, throw them in the pot, all right? So we got those. Then, this is the funny part here. I have 1 onion that I have peeled. I've only cut it in half, right? And I'm going to put that, in my pot as well. Just like that, do not cut it because you're going to take it out when it's done and not even have it in the sauce. It's just going to get the essence of onions in there. It's really yummy. And then she calls for 5 tablespoons of butter. Because I use plant-based, I'm going to have 5 tablespoons of plant-based butter that I get at Natural Grocers, and I really love it. And then I'm going to clean my hand off here just a second. Not that my hands weren't clean to begin with, they were, but I don't want to put dirty hands in my salt. Then I've got this salt you guys know that I love. It's kind of I'm going to go for 2 pinches. 2 pinches of sauce. Okay, that's the whole deal, right? Here it is. Tomatoes, plant butter, onion, salt. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the stove. And I'm going to bring it, for me, I always like to bring things to a boil first and then turn them down because I just don't trust that they're going to happen. So I'm putting it on the stove right now. It's going to come up to a boil. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer and leave it there uncovered for 45 minutes. And so I will be back at you and let you know. You're going to see what it looks like in 45 minutes. Not your time, because I'm going to be back to you. You're going to think it's a second. You know, this time-lapse photography thing. Okay, so here it is going on the stove. Going to come to a boil. And a boil, then simmer. And I'm going to stir it, break up the tomatoes. And, 45 minutes from now, we are going to have something that is spectacular. The other thing I'd like to say about it is what you can do. Let's say, but I really want you to start by making this basic sauce before you start monkeying around with other things. Do you want to, by tomorrow, I'm probably going to go get some basil off of my tower garden and probably throw that in right before I serve it. I'm going to be serving it on polenta tomorrow night. But you can put, monkey around with it. You'll put some garlic in it. You'll put some, if you want, oregano in it. I mean, there's so many great things that you can, there's plant-based parm. You could put some nutritional yeast if you want a little thicker. A lot of things that you can add, but do yourself a favor. See what it's like to begin with at the very, very basic. All right, so I'll see you back here in what it'll look like 2 seconds to you and look like 45 minutes to me. How about that? Deal? All righty. I was waiting for you. I was cooking for 45 minutes with this tomato sauce, with just the tomatoes and the onions. See, here's how we're looking. I'm going to pull the onions out, and I'm not going to toss them out. What I'm going to do is use them in my next vegetable broth stock, my next vegetable stock. So I'm going to let them cool down, and then I'm going to throw them in the freezer. And here we've got our tomato sauce right there. If you guys can see it. It's not super, super thick, but it is, I gotta tell you, I did do one of those, put the spoon in it and blow on it, etc., etc. So anyway, that is the really quick, well, not quick, but minimalist, let's call it minimalist red sauce from Marcella Huzan, brought to you by way of my brother Dan, who absolutely adores it. And I'm going to be using it tomorrow night on a polenta. So as it sits overnight, I'm just going to put the whole pot in the fridge, let it sit overnight. And as it does that, it will thicken up just a little bit. And I think what I want to do tomorrow is make the polenta, obviously. Heat up the sauce, and then I'm going to throw fresh basil in it from my aeroponic tower garden that I have out back here. So anyway, I'm excited. It's yummy. It's easy to make. It's a surprise, honestly. You know, I love surprises. So anyway, go out there and be joy in your own kitchen. Enjoy the yum. And until next time, see you later.